Hi friends, my name is Kasia Kaca and I want to share with you the easiest recipe for sourdough. I have tried a few recipes. It was not always great and successful for me, but with this recipe, all the sourdoughs are working great. I'll share with you all the process step by step. We'll go together. I share with you all the tips and tricks how to make sure that your sourdough is being delicious and as well simple to bake. Let's gather all your essentials. I will write down all the recipe details below this video. You will need simply water, starter, salt, and flour. Also, highly recommending to have a scale to measure everything. So we'll start with the starter. You need 100 gram of very active bubbly starter, and then you add water, 350 gram. And once you add, you mix it into milky liquid. Then you will need again your scale, and here is the whole fun beginning. You will add your salt, it's usually 10 grams, I like to add sometimes 12. And then you add your flour. The flour I'm using is from local mill, but I will write down below in the description all other flours which are available in the United States and as well in Europe, what kind of flours you can use. Add your flour, you mix with a spoon. This is the easiest and simple way. You don't need any fancy devices for sourdough. And make sure you let it rest for 1 hour. So your dough is resting 1 hour, and then you are getting ready for some stretch and fold series. For the first series, I'm taking a bowl of water and I have a glow because the flour and the dough is kind of sticky, and I want to make sure the flour is fully incorporated into the dough. So I'm making sure that my glove or my hand is always a bit wet, and I'm nicely incorporating all the flour into dough, making sure there is no dry. I'm making those stretch and fold series every 30 minutes. And depending on the dough, I will do 3 or 4 sets. So this stretch and fold series, as you see, it's very easy. You just need to stretch your dough up, and later you turn your bowl and then you stretch again. So basically you do this turn 4 times. You need to turn 1, 2, 3, and 4. Every time when you are turning, you make stretch. And once you make a stretch, you let it sit for 30 minutes. I usually put timers because it's the easiest way to track and do other stuff at home. So there is a final stretch. You will see it could be a third or fourth, depending on the temperature of your room and season and water and everything. But you will see that dough is starting to raise and being very nicely. So after final stretch, please let it rest for 4 or 12 hours, and then you can start shaping, and that's your final shape of the dough. So the shaping is easy. You just try gently pull the dough in a different direction, but be careful. Don't overstretch, don't pull too much. Once you pull into different direction, your task is to create a little burrito. So you just fold as a little burrito the dough, and then you start to make a bowl. This is the way how we are shaping finally our sourdough bread. So you're making that bowl, and then you are putting into basket. That's all. Wrapping this with the foil, and now it's a final time for resting. It's going to the fridge usually for 10 hours, 8, really depending. It doesn't matter very much. And in the morning, you are baking. Preheat your oven for 230 degrees Celsius and put your Dutch oven inside for 30 minutes. When it's really preheated, then you can start baking. I'm not using any fancy flour. I'm just putting a bit flour and scoring the easiest way. You can score and play with the scoring, but the most important to have at least 1 or 2 scores so the dough will nicely raise and not break. And then once you score, put quickly your dough into the Dutch oven and put it for 30 minutes into the oven. After 30 minutes, you need to open the lid and then remember to leave it for 5-10 minutes depending how crusty you want. And that's all. You take the dough out already, you take your bread out. The bread is very hot and everything very hot, so be careful, please. And wait for a few hours. Usually I wait 4 or 5 hours to cool it down. Okay, the baking is finished. Last few words and suggestions for your bread. You can keep your bread not in the fridge, just in your kitchen on the counter. I like to wrap up in a towel so it stays more fresh. Sometimes, if I will not eat this bread in 2-3 days, then I might put in the refrigerator. So it's up to you, depending on the climate where you live. I suggest you to see what is the best course of action. If the whole bread is too much for you, you might slice it and put to the refrigerator or to the freezer. And then in the freezer, you can take it up, warm up, and it's super delicious and fresh sourdough bread. I do this sometimes. However, this loaf is for me for 2-3 days for my family and friends. So I'm trying to bake every 2-3 days. So let me know how do you like the recipe, if there are any questions, and hopefully see you in the next episodes for cooking.